Clinical trials are formal studies, usually in the context of evaluating new treatments, but they could be for a variety of questions that relate to patients' care. So clinical trials by definition are in people. When we talk about work that's done in laboratory studies prior to bringing them into patients and into clinical trials, we call those preclinical studies. So yes, we reserve the term clinical trial for patients and for people. Clinical trials are absolutely essential to advance our knowledge and our ability to treat people. So the benefits are that we have an opportunity to look at new approaches to diseases, particularly when we think about clinical trials in cancer. That's our only way to really develop new and effective therapies. And if you look at the history of cancer, all of the advances, like the cures of childhood leukemia, were all on the basis of very well done clinical studies.
So I think the first step is to find a program that has clinical trials open. And so I think for brain cancer patients, that means finding a neuro-oncology program. And I think good places to look, the large brain tumor organizations like the American Brain Tumor Association, the National Brain Tumor Society, the International Brain Tumor Alliance, and the NCI Neuro-Oncology branch websites. Those are the type of websites that have links to their own trials and will have links to neuro-oncology physicians and practices in the areas, which are the places that are most likely to have clinical trials for brain tumor patients that are open. There are other websites. There's a website called clinicaltrials.gov that lists all of the clinical trials open all over the world that have brain tumor trials open. Now, I have to admit, that type of website can be quite overwhelming and have a lot of information. So I think my number one and best recommendation is to find a neuro-oncologist who can either help you with some clinical trials open at his or her institution, or refer you to one of the large centers that has multiple clinical trials open at any given time.
I think patients should start every conversation when a therapy is needed to have a conversation about clinical trials. Right now, when we look in the brain tumor or spinal cord tumor space, we don't really have treatments that are maintenance therapies. We're really directed either at the time of diagnosis or when the tumor has regrown. But at each of those conversations, I think the patients and their families should talk to the healthcare provider, particularly the physician, about what clinical trials are available.
Learn more at cancer.gov/NCI-Connect. Contact us, nciconnect@mail.nih.gov, 240-760-6530.
U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, National Institutes of Health, National Cancer Institute, cancer.gov, 1-800-4-CANCER. Produced May 2020.